Our own Kyle Rothenberg ventured into the nation, formerly known as downtown Seattle. Here's what he found. So there it is.
Yes, I love that. I laughed so hard at that last night. The way they show the furry tails in slow motion. The way a guy just like aimlessly twirling a piece of driftwood or whatever. They're just like, it's because he has a face tattoo. Anarchy. Unbelievable. I mean, like, did they get a xenophobic evil twin of Hans Zimmer to score it there? Or like, you know, David Fincher, except his evil twin again to direct it. Just so much bong. I guess that's more Chris Nolan. But whatever, I mean, it's just unbelievable. Could it be any more obvious that they're just peddling fear porn? I don't understand how you couldn't see through this transparent attempt, but it's because Tucker's viewers are old, scared, white people, and this is just like candy to them. Candy that makes them afraid. But they kind of like the fear, don't they? They kind of feel comforted in the fact that they're fearful of young people and protesters and equality and black people, etc., Muslims. If you guys don't know, Tucker's fear-mongering about Seattle there, which I think he called a nation. It's not a nation. He's fear-mongering about the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, known as Chaz, which I will tell you about in a minute. He's portraying it as this war zone. That's not what's going down. Activists there have basically set up a police-free area, and that's the imagery that you were seeing there, set to horror music. After 8 days of continuing clashes with protesters, staff at the East Precinct Police Headquarters in Seattle suddenly vacated the building on Monday, June 8th, shredding documents and leaving it empty. Among protesters, there was initial confusion over why police would outright leave, but organizers suspected a trap. But that's not what happened. Instead, protesters set about creating a peaceful and safe police-free neighborhood, and the officers largely haven't bothered to come back. City personnel showed up the day after the precinct was abandoned to remove the barricades that police had set up to control the protests, but protesters convinced the workers to let them set up roadblocks to keep city traffic out of the area. They ended up sequestering an approximately 6-block area in the central Seattle neighborhood of Capitol Hill. Chaz has since evolved further into a center of peaceful protest, free political speech, co-ops, and community gardens. Protesters have invited the city's houseless population, who had been subject to a mass clearing of tent communities throughout the city, to come stay in the neighborhood. Movie nights have been held. The zone, where hundreds of people can be found on any given day, is largely leaderless, with decisions often being made by a vote. But volunteers have stepped in anyway, doing everything from distributing food to cleaning up garbage in the area. So this kind of reminds me of Standing Rock. I've been to a number of lefty activist hubs like this. Sometimes there are pretty intense people there, people who may not shave or whatever, but that's the worst of it. I love those things because it's usually kind of a throwback to old hippie days, and you get to really connect with people who are trying to fight for the right things. And obviously that scares Tucker Carlson, especially because it has been peaceful. And it gives you a sense of what you can reimagine the police to be as peacekeepers, as community members. This very small microcosm of police-free living shows that, yeah, the way we've heavily militarized the people who are supposed to be public servants, it doesn't need to be this way. And I think that's what scares Tucker and his viewers more than anything. And that's why he has to frame it like this is some sort of anarchy, this is the purge. It's not that way. Because if he was actually to honestly look at what they're proposing and what the results have been, that might be more scary to Tucker than anything.